So, good afternoon, Shalom, Pilichowski children. I'm really sorry that Abba and Ima did not bring you along so Shevi and I can meet you personally. But I can only tell you that we are good friends from a distance. Unfortunately, I say from a distance because 6,000 miles at the moment separates us. But you should know that until you get married, all the girls carry that name with pride. B'ez Hashem, you'll meet the appropriate shloimi, and you'll have your own last name. And the bar mitzvah bacher's name is?
Moshe.
Moshe. Wow.
Say.
Whether you pronounce it Pilichowski or Pilichowski makes no difference. I want you to be very proud. Proud because I don't know the history before, but Baruch Hashem, there is, thank God today, a thriving, nice word, Orthodox Jewish community in Fairlawn, and a lot had to do with the initial families that came and made their very strong impression and were very active in creating a tzibur, a community, not just caring for themselves. And one of those individuals was a gentleman, I don't know if you know him, his name, what do they call Stu here in this country?
Stuart.
Stuart, okay,
Saba.
good. So I know him personally, I called him Stu. Okay, but Stuart and his wife Ruth at Me'av Yesrim, they played a very significant role in our early years, so much so that, I'll tell you a nice story, I don't know if you have enough time for this, but there was a gentleman in our community that had a very interesting hobby, okay? And what was his hobby? He, thank God, was a man of means. He would purchase old Sifrei Torah that were unfortunately not usable, and he would pay for their repair, making them usable, and then would give them to different communities that did not have a Sefer Torah. So shortly after my Rabbi, David Lifshitz, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, and my father, Zechron Livracha, passed away, he came to me with the Sefer Torah, and he said, Yudin, I'm giving you the Sefer Torah. I want you to give it and bring it to Eretz Yisrael. So what do? You get off the plane, at Lud, and say, here I am. Anybody interested in a Sefer Torah? So at that time, who was the president of our shul? Stuart Pilichowski. So I said to Stu, I'll tell you what, you're going to be our scout.
A Meragel.
That's right, you're the good Meraglim. And the only thing I want, especially at that time, politically, let it be beyond the green line. So because especially they were, frowned upon in certain circles, etc., I wanted to be machazik them. Good. So in his brilliance, he went to their council and said, hey, by the way, so he said, yeah, look, I think there's a Moshav, and the name of the Moshav is Ma'on. And to the best of his knowledge, they were in their very early stage, and they did not have a Sefer Torah. They needed a Sefer, they were borrowing one, etc. So Stu said, okay, I have, came back, I have a place. Good. He didn't even visit the place, okay? But he had the rabbi of the place call me. So all of a sudden I get a phone call from a person who now has become a Yedid Nefesh, a Rav Dani Stiskin. Okay. Oh, Rabbi Yudin, etc. Yeah, okay. The bottom line is, such a small world. When he was a young child, Shevi fed him, babysat for him when he was in the high chair. But now, most important, he, Baruch Hashem, as the Rabbi of this community, we adopted the community. Ksharim between Fairlawn and Ma'on have only grown, etc. I try to see him more, but unfortunately, Corona, etc. So that's just one small example, and no question that your family is one that has love of Torah, love of Eretz Yisrael, and love of Jewish people. And I can only say how proud I am that, I think you mentioned, listen carefully, that your son goes to the yeshiva Avas Yisrael
He will be. Yes.
He will be going? Okay. I'm going to tell you a very quick story. I'm sorry if I'm exceeding my time, but you'll get a little bit of a flavor. There was a pious Jew known as the Ohev Yisrael, the Apta Rebbe. Now listen carefully. He said to his Talmidim, I got to tell you that you find Avas Yisrael in every parsha in the Torah. So they said to him, oh yeah? Where do you find Avas Yisrael in Parshas Balak? He did not blink. Balak, Beis v'yohavta, Lamed l'reyacha, Kif kamocha. So they said to him, Oy, Rebbe, Anshuldikin, excuse me, please, but v'yohavta starts with a Vav and not with a Vez. And kamocha is with a Chaf and not a Kif. He said to them, if you're going to be so picky-yoon, he didn't use that word in English, but if you're going to be so exact, you're never going to have Avas Yisrael. And that's what your parents represent. And that's how your mommy became the mayor. Because Baruch Hashem, on their t-shirt, it's written, we love all Jews. And that is such a schus that you have to be raised in such a home. And our bracha, my wife Batsheva, commonly known as Shevi, she says like the car, but what do you know, Shevi, like the car? So Batsheva, okay? So my wife and I give you the bracha that each one in your own way. Yaakov Avinu had 12 sons. Why do I need to know this biography of Yaakov? I'll read it in a book someplace. I'll read it in a medrash. No, the Torah is telling us that mommy will tell them what a cookie cutter is. When mommy makes cookies for Hanukkah, she makes menorah cookies, or she makes dreidel cookies. How does she do it? Oh, don't tell anybody. She has this little tchotchke, which she presses on the dough, and guess what? They all look like a dreidel. They all look like a menorah. Good. So mommy and daddy are not cookie cutter Jews. No, they love all Jews. I taught my kids, and Baruch Hashem, your Abba was part of our community. And it's such a beautiful picture. When he and Andy were about 17, 18 years old, I keep that in my study. I really do. So I see you regularly. Okay? So the bottom line is that we don't look at the hat, we don't look at the yarmulke. Is it a velvet one? Is it a knitted one? Come on. To quote one of my granddaughters who just became a kala, no pressure for all of you, Lo hakova kovea. That's it. That's the formula. And with that, I gave each of you a bracha. You should all be matzliach, each one in your own way. And especially the Bachar Bar Mitzvah. I wish we could. You never know. Darach Hashem this Torah. If we're here, Pashas Vayetze, Bli Neder, we're coming. Okay, if we have to rent a Zimmer, Mommy's been telling us. And if not, I'm sure you'll find a place for us. But if not, Miss Hashem, you'll have him call me, and maybe we'll share Dvar Torah together. Okay, but wishing all of you much hatzlacha, and thank you so much for the opportunity of sharing your Abba Nimo with us. Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, my turn. So that was Rabbi Yudin talking to a family that he loves very much, and I'm talking as Shevi, who consider you Avigail, Tamima, Gila, Naomi, Tova, and Moshe, my family. I don't have to tell you about your grandfather who was a Meragel, and I don't have to tell you all the good things that they did, because you know your parents, you know your grandparents on both sides, and you could tell us a lot more about them. I always get like emotional when I read in a newspaper that, after such and such years, so-and-so found his cousin or his aunt or his family that he didn't see in a long time. When you came to Phil, and I don't know if it was 8 years ago or 10 years ago with your parents from Boca, you were little kids then, and I didn't think that a family from Boca was coming. I felt that your parents, Uri and Eliza, were coming home to their relatives. I didn't feel like, oh my God, what am I going to do to impress them? Or what am I going to do? They were coming home. And that's exactly how we feel. We feel that your parents are like our children, that they're related to us. And by virtue of that, that means that you are related to us. And we want you to know that Baruch Hashem, you have everything here in Eretz Israel that you could want and more. But until we get here, we want you to know that you have family in America, that whatever you would need to come for a friend's wedding, for a simcha, for no reason, for anything, you'll know the combination of the door. You are welcome. Our house is your house.
Easy to remember.
You'll change it by then. Our lives, he'll tell you the combination. Our lives are your lives. Your parents and what they do, and the Masim Tovim and the Torah and the mayorship, and it goes much beyond that. They are our nachas. Some people get nachas from playing the stock market and winning and making a lot of money, and other people get nachas because their kids are on Broadway. We get nachas because of the way your parents act each and every day of their life, every minute. And by virtue of that fact, we get nachas from you because you're the children of Eliza and Uri, who are like our children. So I just want to wish you, today's Thursday, I wish you all a good Shabbos. I wish you all a good life. I wish you all a good end of the summer and a good beginning of the year, filled with shalom, filled with good health, filled with nachas, filled with all the dreams that you have for yourselves. And they might be different dreams, but that all your dreams should be when we bench Rosh Chodesh, I think it's next week, we bench Rosh Chodesh Elul, and we say in Rosh Chodesh every month, V'malei Hashem nishalos libenu l'tova. And that little word l'tova, people used to come to me in shul and say, I went to say bench Rosh Chodesh, and I asked Hashem to give me everything, and he didn't get it. What was wrong with my tefillah? And I said, there's a little word, V'malei Hashem nishalos libenu l'tova. A lot of times what we wish for ourselves isn't always what's good for us. And Hashem put that word there, whoever wrote the Yiratzon, put that little word in the Torah that we should know. That maybe what we're asking for now isn't good for us today, but it'll be very good for us next month or the month after. But I'm not giving drushes, I said I wasn't. So I just want to tell you again that we consider you kids our family. You need anything from America, an Amazon, there's no Amazon there, just send it, call us, we'll order it, we'll get it here for you. And guess what? Because we have children here, we learned that there's this delivery service called Chavilos, and you go to a place in Kennedy Airport, and you bring the shoe box, and they wrap it up, and they send it to Israel. You get it picked up in whatever the post office is near, Pei Richo or wherever you have to comment, and you get whatever you want. That's what I want you to know, that we are not just talkers, we mean it. We are family, and we will do anything for you. Even though we don't know each of you personally, we love you because you are Uri and Eliza's children. We love you because you are living here in Eretz Israel, and that makes part of us live here. And we love you because we just love your parents so much that automatically have to love you. So remember, 19-09 Moreland Avenue is the place. The name of the people who live there are your relatives, the Yudins, and anything we ever could do for you. We are here for you because you are our extended family, and we love you, and we wish you everything good in life. And we're so happy that we had this hour, or whatever it was, because to us, for me personally, it was probably the best time I had this trip in Israel, or one of the best times, because one of your cousins, our granddaughter, got engaged to a Chayal Tzadchan who was in a Hester yeshiva. But forget about that for now.
Tell them where. There must be a romantic
song. And they got engaged in this Pei Richo, the sunrise or the sunset. But I don't want to bring them in now. I hope someday you'll meet them. But I really want you to know that everything I'm saying comes from my heart, and I mean it. And I really hope that you'll take us up on it. And we wish you all much bracha and hatzlacha. And we look forward to Parshas Vayesei. Whether we're there or we're not there, we will be there. And Amir Hashem, to many bas mitzvahs and engagements and whatever we can to be part of it. So that's my little story to you. And I'm not saying shalom. I'm just saying we'll see you, Amir Hashem, on our next trip. And by some way, either we'll come there or we'll meet halfway, or you'll come to right where we're sitting now in a beautiful backyard of Yerushalayim. But that's what and one more thing. I have to tell you that a lot of people call us at all hours of the day and night. But when I get a call, Erev Yom Kippur, from your grandfather, Stuart, and it's 5 o'clock in the morning, his time, and I say, Stu, how come you're calling me so? Well, he says, well, you know I go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. He said, and anyway, I want to be the first one to wish you a good Jantiv. So that says it all. And like I said, whenever your father zooms on a share, and I hear amazing things about your mother, I feel that it's my children. And so I hope that you'll, if you get to know us, you'll get to feel the same way about us. And they're really cutting me off now, so I'm stopping. But we love you all and wish you a good Shabbat.